have a little helper here for my last session, but I think she's going to go get something to eat at the moment. All right, so now we're looking at, we've learned how to read and write data files, or these text files. There are some specific types of text files that special formatting that are out there that can make us data more powerful for us. One of them is called a JSON file, which is a JavaScript object notation file. JSON files allow us to send formatted data to the text file and back and forth. We're going to learn how to send a list, for example, which can be very useful in Python. The other thing that JSON allows is to store metadata with the data, and that is information about the data. So think about storing a dictionary with the key and the value. So JSON files are used a lot in Python as well. So let's learn how to work with JSON files. If you look at number_reader, you can see we have to import JSON because it's a library of code. It's not in the base code of Python. We set the variable one more time. We open it with the file object. Here's where it's different. We have a variable equal to, but instead of the file object .read or read lines, we have JSON .load and then the file object. So it's similar, but sort of a little bit different. And then it prints the numbers, and then as you can see, it's a list, so we can use for A in numbers as well. And if we run it, you can see this is the print statement where the list is, and then this is the for loop that prints through the numbers. If we look at number writer, this is how you write to a JSON file. We import JSON, we make our list, we set our file name, we do the with open with our W because we're going to overwrite the file, and then we use the JSON.dump method, and we send the numbers, the values we want to send, and then where we want to send it to the file object. We run that and it executes. How do you tell it executes? Well, because then you can read it from here. But if we go back and we add some more data here, and we run it, you can see if we go back and read it, the new data is here. So you can see that the number reader shows you how to read JSON files, and number writer shows you how to write JSON files. We're going to do a lot more of that. If you look at the greet user file, this is working with JSON files, which is text. So this is just a text file. And if we run this, it will say, welcome back, Fred. And all it does is read the value, again, using the load command, and then stores it and prints out the results. If you look at the whole remember me file, the only command here that we're doing is greet user. And then we have 3 functions that we're going to run. So greet user comes back here and sets the username to get stored username. It goes up to get stored username, and it opens the file, and if there's an exception, it doesn't return anything. If there's a file, it sends the username back, the result that it read as the username. If it sends back a username, then it says welcome back username. If there's not, if we sent back none here, it says we go to get new username, we go up and get new username, ask the user for input, then we use the write command and we send it to the file, and then we come back and says I'll remember you next time. So if we run that, it says welcome back Fred, and we saw that the file username.json has Fred in it. If we go and we delete username, it's chapter 10, where's username? If we delete that, and now we go back and we run that, it says, oh, it doesn't say welcome back because Fred, that file name doesn't exist. So we give a new file name, a new username. It says, I remember when you come back. And if we run it again, sure enough, it remembers when we came back. So it goes from here to greet user, then it gets the get stored username. If it isn't available, it goes back to username, gets the username, then it goes back to the greet user, and then it goes back here, and we could add more code from there. So you can see how you do the reads and writes inside of functions as well. And again, we're using with, so we don't have to do the close file command. It just, if you do it inside of with, the files automatically close when you're done. So we're going to learn about CSV files and other file types, but this is JSON.